Hello, 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 hello. It's Auntie Jessica. Yeah, I haven't been on live for a really long time, right? Um, Travian, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I saw you sent me a comment asking about the live, but I couldn't locate exactly where the comment was to respond to you. Yeah, but Auntie doesn't really go live for lessons. Auntie does lessons. I have one young adult who does reading lessons for me during the week, so we wouldn't go live with her. But that's her private, personal, special time with Auntie. Yeah, it's a really beautiful time. And then I have my little Rosaria who comes on Saturdays. Rosaria just turned 4. My auntie likes to devote her attention, and Rosaria, will be needing that lot of attention. So we normally just do videos, and that's it. And then even with my gym time, I just haven't really been going live. So I said, you know what? When I'm able to come home at a fairly decent hour, as in the sun is still out and so on, and I don't just come home from gym and flop on the chair or get on with what needs to be done. I'm gonna have a little still moment and come here and read some stories and so on for you. So today is gonna be one of those days. As always, let's see if I'm gonna be able to keep up with that. So how's your day going? I hope that you had a good day, or you are having a good day, or you're on your way to sleep, go beddy bye, and having a peaceful night's rest after a wonderful day. Maybe somewhere in the world you're even into tomorrow already. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, but as always, wishing the best for you. What Auntie always says, love, keep that heart light, be peaceful, gentle with yourself, one step at a time, one day at a time. I probably need to be telling myself these things. Easier said than done. So let me dip my hand, give a little shout out to Marisha. Hello, 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 Strawberry. Lovely fruit. How are you? Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Thanks for tuning in. How's your day going? Let's see. Yeah, I was saying a shout out to Marisha, special Liberian. Yeah, and to all the great work with Auntie's children. You're doing good. I'm doing good too. See me here in my green, one of my favorite colors. Yeah, very much a nature girl. I had a good day at work, productive day. I came home, I wet my garden, I spent a little time with my plants. And now I'm here to read some stories for the children. Yeah, so happy you join me. This one is about opposites. Oh my. Is Auntie gonna read? It's like Auntie find one with a bit more content. On the beach. On the beach. So tell me something about yourself. Tell me where you are from. I'm here in Barbados. You tell me something about yourself. This is a beautiful beach and a beautiful bay. I don't know the last time I heard that word bay. Let's have breakfast on the beach today. This sounds like a, yes, friendly phonics. As you find you're reading and everything is ba ba ba. Yeah, lots of B words, right? A beautiful beach. When last have you been to the beach? I'm due to go to the beach. I think I went to the beach in January and I haven't been back as yet. I need to do something about that. Hi, 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 hi. I got Nora. I got Vash. Again, a lot of people. Oh, you mean nobody cares? Of course they care. Nobody cares. Of course they care. Oh, man. Bread, butter, and blueberry jam. Bananas, boiled eggs, and some ham. I have the basket. Let's take it all. Bring the beach bag, blanket, and ball. Uh-huh. Let's walk down the beach a bit. We can find a better place to sit. Yeah, it's a rhymey, but of course. This is the best spot. Put the blanket down. And carry the cat to the beach. You love my voice. Thank you so much. I don't get to hear yours, but I have to tell you that I love your words. Yeah. I'm always told I have a very soothing voice. That's a big crab. Hello, crab. Do you like bread? Bread's not bad, but can I have a banana instead? So we have letter B at the beginning, big and bread and banana and all of that. And we also get letter B at the end of the words, crab. You know, we don't usually take our time to pronounce the letter at the end of the word. Let's play baseball. Grab the broom. It's the bat. This box is home base. The basket is first. Anybody's into cricket or following cricket, World Cup cricket? I don't follow it like one time, but shout out to the West Indies team. You're doing well. You're giving us hope, you know? Yeah, good job. The bucket is second. That bird can be third. Oh, what an interesting bird. And of course, we know what the cat is coming to do with the bird. Take a big swing. Bend your elbow. Hit the ball. There you go. I make small contact. Okay. That crab can bat. He's on first base. Look at that. The crab playing baseball. And that's actually the end of On the Beach. Yeah, a phonics book. Do you like to read? I'm here reading stories for my children. My children that do reading lessons with me, and also just people that I connect with. Yeah, it's good to tell our stories. Right? All right, there's a nice, oh, yeah. I remember I saw this one and I chose this one. I said this is probably a bit too, obviously a bit advanced for my little Rosaria, but I just love the moral of the story. So this is called Finn's Little Fibs. A fib is a lie, right? And we normally start off with little fibs and then they grow and then eventually they're not so small anymore. Sometimes they get so big we can't even keep up with them. Finn was buzzing with excitement. He was spending a few days at Grandma's house with his sister Simone. Finn loved staying there. Grandma. Grandma always bought them treats. She took them to eat picnics at the beach. Another book about the beach. These people trying to tell me something. And she let Finn stay up a whole half hour later than usual. It was so fun. You know, the grandparents always spoil the children, right? Grandma's house was filled with all sorts of wonderful, beautiful, but very fragile things. Finn was extremely careful in Grandma's house, but today he was a bit overexcited. He bounced his ball higher and higher and higher until what you think happened? For a chance at $1 million prize. It's pretty predictable. Crash! Finn stared at the broken clock in horror. Oh boy. But we were expecting that, right? He tried his best to fix it, but it didn't really work. Then Grandma walked in. She looked at the mess. She looked at Finn. His tummy twisted. His mind raced. And that was when it happened. Finn is panicking. Finn told a fib. Simone broke the clock, he said. I was trying to fix it. It wasn't a big fib. It could easily have happened. But as soon as he said it, here we go. A strange little blob appeared. Pop! That must be his conscience. Grandma didn't notice the blob, but she did ask how Simone had reached the clock. So you gotta be sensible when you're trying to make all these stories, you see, and you're not even thinking in a logical way. Finn panicked and told another fib. Immediately, a second blob appeared. Pop! Grandma didn't notice this, but she did look very sad about her. It made Finn feel funny inside. Why is he feeling funny inside? Because he's sad, because Grandma is sad that the clock has been broken. And he's sad to know he's telling lies to Grandma too. The next day, Mom and Dad called. After they'd spoken with Grandma, they asked Finn about the clock. Somehow, another fib slipped out, and a third Bob appeared. Pop! My boy is popping like he's popping popcorn. Hmm. Now that he'd started fibbing, it felt impossible to stop. All weekend long, the fibs about the clock piled up around him. Pop, 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 pop. I can see in the pictures here he's trying to blame it on the cat. Where he already tried to blame it on his sister. So many different things. And as I said, when you start telling lies, it's difficult to keep track and to be able to keep your story going, because you always have somebody that will probably question something. Finn couldn't snuggle on the sofa because the fibs all got in the way. He didn't want to play with Simone because the fibs made him sad, and he couldn't eat his picnic lunch because the fibs made his tummy feel strange. Finn felt awful. Like it's not really worth it telling these fibs. If only he'd never told that first fib, but he had, and it was too late to change that now. Or was it? There was one thing he could do. He could tell the truth. Finn's face grew hot. What if Grandma got angry? But he knew what he had to do. What do you think he had to do? I'm gonna find out. I'm pretty sure I know. It was me, said Finn suddenly, the words tripping over themselves. I broke the clock. I'm really sorry I blamed Simone. And you know all of these things are probably gonna pop and like disappear now, right? I think so. What about you? Finn heard a soft, quiet whoosh, and one by one, the whole crowd of fibs vanished, just as I told you what happened. Finn felt so much lighter. Don't worry, Finn, said Grandma. We all make mistakes sometimes. Thank you for telling the truth. That's probably the okay. After that, everything was back to normal. In fact, it was better than normal. It was the best trip ever. From that day on, Finn decided he would always try to tell the truth. And if, by mistake, a fib ever did pop out, as they sometimes do, then he told the truth right away. Okay, so actually, my dad isn't a superhero. Yeah. No, I'm here reading a note from the author. Yeah. Try not to tell lies. Own up if you do. Hmm. I like it. Dear reader, hands up. Who's never ever told a fib? I know I have told some. I don't know about you. No. If you have your hand in the air, then that's a fib right there. You see, we all tell fibs occasionally, but it's never a good idea. Sometimes we think we're telling a fib for a good reason. The problem is that you have to remember your fib and it weighs you down. So you end up feeling heavy and miserable. Here are a few tips for dealing with fibs. Try not to fib in the first place. Tempting as it may seem to tell a fib to get out of trouble, it usually just leads to more trouble. So take a deep breath. Who's good at holding their breath? I'm pretty good at holding my breath. And admit when you've done something wrong. If you have told a fib, then own up as soon as you can. Admit what really happened and explain why you fibbed to a trusted adult, and they'll help you fix your problem. Don't ever feel tempted to tell fibs to make yourself seem better. You don't need to. You're great just the way you are. No matter how you are feeling, remember that it always helps to talk about it. Be open, be honest, be you. He's not the auntie. Like, that's something auntie will tell you, right? Love Tom. Just for that, I'm going to check out some other books that he wrote. I like that a lot. He has some other books here. Milo's Monster, Tilda Choice Again, Misha Mate's Friends. I'm going to search and find out some more of his books, right? I like that advice a lot. So who enjoyed that story? I certainly did. As I said, yeah. The little girl that I teach, she's like 4 years old, so she will probably understand some of that, and some of that will go over her head. Probably, but this is a story that is for little people and not so little people. Right? What I will add to that is also try and don't lie to yourself. Sometimes we tell lies, we lie to ourselves, you know. Yeah. Like was a big lie you think that we tell ourselves and we tell other people that I'm okay. Sometimes we try to convince ourselves that we are doing okay when we really are not feeling okay. Or we try to tell others, you know. Or perhaps someone does something and we're not pleased with it. And rather than speaking up or speaking out, we lie and we try to brush it off. It's nothing. That's okay. It doesn't matter. That's something I hear my daughter or the younger people especially always say, it doesn't matter. Mostly they would say, like, if you want to make a decision, do you prefer the green shirt or the blue? Do you prefer, you know, what flavor do you want? However, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I find young people especially, so it's very quick to say it doesn't matter, but it does. So let that be two things. I'm challenging you, and I'm also going to challenge myself. Let us try not to tell lies to ourselves, right? We want to be honest about how we're feeling, how we're doing. It's not it can be a kind of messy thing. It's not so easy sometimes looking at yourself, but we want to try to be doing that. Um, what areas I need to be growing in? What can I do to be a bit better? How could I have maybe reacted differently to that situation? Maybe it was for me to be still and not even try to react so quickly at all. Yeah. And then be honest with others. I don't really appreciate when you do this. Or you can be honest, and it doesn't even have to always be negative. It can be positive as well. Let people know how you feel about them, negatively or positively. I really like this about you. I really appreciate the way you're always there for me. Like right now, I appreciate the two people who are here watching and spending this time with me. I appreciate you. If no one else has told you that for today, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Right. All right. So I'm gonna read one more, and then I'm gonna go and get on with some other awesome thing that I have to do. Maybe I'll go and do me some crochet. I've been making a blanket for my mom. Yeah. So I'll see. I think most of these are more little people things again. Yeah. Little people things. There's one about telling time. That's for the older lady, the older young person. That comes to lessons. Do you want to hear about poor old rabbit, or do you want to hear about going to the dentist? Tell me. Hi, I love you. Oh, you love my top. Thank you very much. It's a nice shade of green, right? Yeah. This morning I was looking, I was going to put on a jacket, a bit fancier. I'll even go and get up and show you since I know you've disappeared. Anyway, I'll try to go and get my jacket. Yeah, I was gonna wear this jacket here, right? Yeah, it was gonna be that and a black skirt. Looks pretty nice, but I just wasn't feeling it. And I'm very much into this thing. Like if I pair colors or I look at colors now, and I'm not feeling it, I don't wear it because I don't know. Then I feel like it would affect my mood or something, which I'm pretty sure it would. So I just said the gray with the keiki and then my earrings. These are lovely earrings I got from a beautiful young lady in the Marshall Islands. Yeah, like Pacific kind of things you can see. Oh, they use their shells and so on. Everybody always loves these earrings. That's Auntie's kind of style. Kind of rootsy, kind of creative. I don't know what you will call it, yeah. What is your favorite color, by the way? Yeah, tell me something. Tell me a little something there about yourself. I always say my favorite color is green. As I said, I'm very much very deeply connected to nature. Grounded both in terms of the earth and the water. Maybe the water more. I don't even know, no, but very, very connected to the earth. Yeah. My plants in my garden and so on. Even I love like when it rains and you can smell the that smell you get. Wet soil and so on. These things I find very calming, very soothing to my spirit. So it's green. I know recently I find I've been wearing a lot of orange as well. Sometimes some brown. But it'll always be green then. So since nobody can tell me if to read about the rabbit or read about the dentist, let me just decide. I got the rabbit. I'll read both. I'll read as much as I can read for the time. I soon have to turn on the light. Poor old rabbit. Floppy saw a toy rabbit. I'm not going to show all the photos. Poor old rabbit, said Floppy. Nobody wants it. I soon turn on the light. Kipper took it to Mom. Look at this rabbit, said Kipper. Nobody wants it. He's all battered and bruised. 1 minute. That's my neighbor, but I'm not going to stop. You just have to come along with me as I chat with my neighbor. Because when it's dark now, when it stop, I'm not going to come back here. Good evening, neighbor. I'm here doing a video, reading my stories for my lessons. Come though, because I want you to come back. I won't put the camera on in case camera. Nobody's watching right now though. I wanted to share some of my, I had much looking for you yesterday. You gotta hold your hands, put them in your pocket. I don't know, Andrew, he shifted around. I see one looking like it would die, but I hoping that it just, sometimes you trouble them and they have to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were right on.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Alright.
So you will see, but tomorrow you're looking very smart and dapper. You sure you don't want me to show you to the whole world out there? No, you're looking so smart and so dapper. You made my day. Enjoy your evening. We will talk.
Alright, cool.
Alright. Funny enough, there I was talking about my garden. Just hold on, I'm making my way back to my bedroom for my privacy to read for you. On goes the light. I was talking to you about how much I love my garden, and my neighbor came over. He gardens as well. And I had promised him some of my tomatoes. He's camera shy, looking very smart because February is, well, Black History Month is called, but here we call it the African Awareness Month. So yeah, it's the time where you wear like your different African prints and so on. So he's looking really dapper, but he won't let me. He looks anyhow, he was supposed to come yesterday, but of course he came now. I'm here doing this video, this live. So I had to go and share my tomatoes with him. It's really good to be able to encourage each other. I don't want to get sidetracked because when I start talking, sometimes I can go off on a tangent. But that's something that I'm passionate about. Not just the gardening, but like doing things as a community, So ideally, I want to have it like I could grow certain things, like he grows some, and we could like share with one another, and then we'll get it going. Yeah, simple little things, and you can make a difference, That's me really happy now. All right, did you tell me anything else? You love my talk, and you said this. All right, hey to the hey, Riley. I'm so happy you're here. So back to Rabbit. Nobody wanted the toy rabbit because he was there looking all battered and bruised. Look at this rabbit, said Mom. Dad washed it. Poor rabbit nearly drowned in there in the washing machine. Kipper brushed it. Chip and Wilma mended it. Rabbit is getting some good care, boy. More care than Auntie. I had to wash my own hair this morning. Nobody came and washed me or brushed me or mended me. I don't need mending at the moment, though. Well, perhaps a little bit. I think we probably all do. Just a little bit. They all wanted it now. Oh, no. Poor old rabbit, said Kipper. What happened to rabbit now? The dog? Anyhow, rabbit sweet. Rabbit too sweet. No, rabbit getting a lot of love and he's happy there now. So, questions to talk about the story. Once again, stories for little peoples and not so little peoples. Because even as I find, even when I'm reading a story for the little people, then there's always some lesson. There's always something I could take from that story to apply to my own life to learn. So learning is not always, enough people use the word linear, but learning is not always like I am auntie and they are little children and I'm just feeding and it's going in one direction. It goes in both directions. I learn, they learn from me, and I always say I learn even more from them. They always, teach me to look at things differently. Yeah. Mostly they teach me not to limit myself because suppose as you would know, you don't even have to be a parent, just anyone that interacts with children and you tell them, well, that cannot be done, that is not the way, you can't. Obviously, many times we tell them things for their protection. The fastest thing they can answer is why or why not. You know? Yeah. So mostly they teach me not to place limits on myself. And I love that for them and I love it for me. Why do you think somebody has put the rabbit in the bin? Let me hear. Because the rabbit was all old and dirty and torn, and nobody could see the value in the rabbit. Right? Just like sometimes we are not always looking or feeling our best. Sometimes we might think that we're looking, how come the first thing I did was touch my hair? I be loving my hair. Um, but sometimes it might be like circumstances. You might feel like you're not able to have yourself looking, keep up yourself as your best self. Sometimes it might be you're not feeling your best self. So once you have that on the inside, it's gonna manifest, it's gonna show on the outside. So you're not really feeling to make that effort and be all that careful and all that lot of attention and so on to your outward appearance. Yeah. Sometimes as I said, it could be like you fall on hard times or something has happened or maybe even like you have someone that's sick or in the hospital, something has to have all your attention. Also, these different things fall by the wayside, but that is not taken away from your value, who you are at your core, who you are on the inside. So the same with our sweet, sweet rabbit. Why isn't it always safe to take toys out of the bin in the park? Because the bin is dirty and we have all kind of things in there. We can have people might have thrown needles and different things in there, even maybe like a glass bottle, something is dangerous, so you have to be careful. Why did everybody want the rabbit at the end of the story? Because the rabbit was looking sweet. It took a few people to see the value in the rabbit and give the rabbit the care that he needed. Wash him and brush him and maintain him. And then all of a sudden now, everybody has eyes for the rabbit because the rabbit is not looking old and battered and bruised anymore. Somebody needs to hear that. Once they sense it, somebody needs to hear that. Right? You remember who you are. Don't worry about how other people are perceiving you. Right? Remember who you are. Remember your greatness. Remember your value. Remember your worth. Remember that you are loved and truly cared for. All right? We don't always feel it, but perhaps you're going through something and this too shall pass. Perhaps you're going through like a season where you're feeling like invisible. It happens a lot like on the job. You feel like I'm the one, I always have to be doing the work. I don't feel appreciated. When I look around, you can see everybody else advancing and getting promoted and so on, and nobody's remembering me. Or sometimes it could be like a family situation. You're feeling like the black sheep. I'm always the one with the brunt of the work. I am the one that always has to be here for everybody, but nobody ever has time for me. Yeah. Um, could be like with your friends, I always have to be the one to reach out and to be there for everybody. But when I need something now, whoever remembers me, so many different scenarios and situations that we could use for that. But remember, you're not alone. God sees you, and you also need to be able to see that value in yourself. If people are not noticing you, I'm not telling you to like put up and allow people to treat you as dirt, but essentially, you gotta be able to love yourself. Okay? That message was brought to you from Auntie Jessica. What is your favorite toy? What would you do if it got old and torn? I don't know what's my favorite toy right now. I have Dana the dinosaur, which my lovely daughter bought for me for Mother's Day last year because I was having one of my, I call them baby tantrums. Yeah. Because she wasn't feeling well, she actually had a bout of tonsillitis. Fortunately, it wasn't too serious. Yeah. So I had to spend my Mother's Day ferrying her around and yeah, staying after her, which of course I would do to make sure she was okay. But in the midst of that, I was having a little grumpiness as I'm entitled to because I wanted to just be able to be catered to for a while and, feel appreciated and so. So she went and she bought me some, here, have that, okay? Someone loves you and someone cares about you and now you have someone to hug up and feel all appreciated. Yeah, so this is my buddy Dana the dinosaur. What about you? Do you have a favorite toy, like a favorite toy from your childhood? Or even though now it's alright to still have toys now. I remember I had a teddy bear, his name was Siggy. I had a big doll, I think her name was Wendy. Yeah, I don't remember too much about toys otherwise. So my last story I'll read for you now is going to be the dentist one. And that's probably going to be it. That's probably going to be it. Yeah, I'm going to end there. I have tractor tell the time. I don't feel to read, huh? So I'm going to finish off with the dentist. Going to the dentist. It's the first experience at the dentist. This is the Judd family. Jake and Jesse need to have a checkup with their dentist. Mr. Judd phones to make an appointment. Who likes to go to the dentist? Not too many people. And if you ask the little people why they like to go to the dentist, what are they going to tell you? They like to go to the dentist to get the chocolates that you get afterwards, which makes absolutely no sense, but nevertheless. Yeah, a lot of people have a fear of going to the dentist. I don't, but I understand why people do. A few days later, that sounds like SpongeBob. A few moments later, a few days later, they go to see the dentist. Mrs. Judd takes Jake and Jesse in her car. All the J's, and I'm also J, Auntie Jessica. Mr. Judd stays at home with Jasper the dog. There he is with Jasper looking through the window, and they're so happy that they're not the ones going to the dentist. The dentist is very busy, I can see that. There are lots of people waiting to see him. Jake and Jesse play in the waiting room until it is their turn. Jake and Jesse meet the dental nurse. She calls them in to see the dentist. She is going to help with Jake and Jesse's checkup. Hello, Jake. Hello, Jesse, says the dentist. Hello, say Jake and Jesse. The dentist says that Mrs. Judd can come in and watch. Jesse goes first. Jesse sits in a special chair that can go up and down. Then the dental nurse puts a bib around Jessie's neck. Mhm. Jessie has her teeth checked. I got pretty teeth, huh? There is a spotlight above Jessie, which shines into her mouth. The dentist wears special gloves and a mask over his nose and mouth. He puts the chair back before he checks Jessie's teeth. Jessie opens her mouth wide. He uses a mirror to see inside. The dentist looks at each of Jessie's teeth. The dental nurse makes notes about them on the computer. Yeah, they're normally like calling out things like A1 and B7. That's not what they actually say, but they have their own ways of calling out that, to each other that they know which tooth they're talking about. And we're usually clueless. The dentist has finished with Jessie. He is very pleased with her. Jessie has no holes in her teeth. Now she can rinse out her mouth. Now it is Jake's turn. When the dentist sees Jake's teeth, he finds a small hole in one of them. This means that Jake needs to have a filling. Probably Jake was eating too many sweets. The dentist rubs some gel onto Jake's gums and makes Jake's tooth numb. And you know what happens after? Usually when you catch back yourself, like you will be talking and your mouth feels very numb and it's quite amusing. Jake has a filling. The dentist cleans the bad part of Jake's tooth. The dental nurse keeps it dry with a suction tube. Then she fetches some filling material and gives it to the dentist. The dentist puts the filling into the hole. Now Jake will not get a toothache. The children learn how to look after their teeth. The dentist shows them what will happen if they don't take care of their teeth properly. He says they should be careful when they eat and drink because sugar and sweet foods and drinks are bad for teeth. The dental nurse shows them how to brush their teeth really well. This gets rid of old food that can cause holes. Jake and Jessie must brush their teeth twice a day with fluoride toothpaste to keep them clean and healthy. Alrighty, Jake and Jessie go home. On their way out, Mrs. Judd makes an appointment to see the dentist for another checkup after 6 months. And that's the end of going to the dentist. And that's going to be the end of story time with Auntie Jessica though. Yeah, you got a lot of stories from me. You got one, you got dentist time, you got poor. So we had one book to teach us about taking care of our health, our teeth and so on and that. It's alright, you don't have to be afraid. We had the rabbit. What did the rabbit teach us? Seeing your value, valuing yourself. Yeah, taking care of yourself. Also valuing others. Sometimes looking beyond the superficial, what you can see on surface level. Yeah, and appreciating the person that is beyond all of that. We have some other books. We had our fibs. What we learned to always try to be truthful. Yeah. To others, and especially to ourselves. That is Auntie Jessica's interpretation. It's very important to tell the truth to ourselves and for ourselves, for the sake of ourselves. And we had on the beach, which is telling me I need to get to the beach. And I shall do that soon. So I don't think I have anything else to chat with you about. Let me bring you closer. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed Story Time with Auntie Jessica. Thank you very much for everybody who tuned in, to Strawberry, who said that he or she had a great day. I had Nora. Nora told me nobody cares. Well, Nora, I guess that part about valuing yourself, especially for you. Great, Nora. Yeah, I appreciate you, Nora. Thank you. I had Varsha. Varsha said, I love your voice. That's so nice. I love that you stopped by. I had Issy. Issy was the one that loves my top. Issy, you have good taste, you know. Thank you so much for that. And I had Riley. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you, to everybody. Bye bye. Be good to yourself. Be truthful. Mm? What else should I tell you? Be positive. Be gentle. Be patient. And to yourself, be true. Stay true to yourself. Yeah. And that's going to be it for story time with Auntie Jessica. Hopefully, I'll be back soon. Let me say hopefully. Yes, I will be back soon. Share some more stories, or maybe we'll write our own. We'll get creative. We'll see. Yeah, and a lot of sharing, a lot of reflection, a lot of just chatting and getting to know each other. All right. So bye 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 bye. I love you. Bye.